Alrighty, you're about to see something you haven't seen before. If you followed the case of Stephan Sterns, Stephan Sterns was recently convicted. He pled guilty and pled no contest to doing some horrible things to the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend. Her name, the 13-year-old, is Maddie Soto, and the girlfriend's name is Jennifer Soto. Okay, so police sent me these 72 surveillance videos of Stephan Sterns driving around the day Maddie was reported missing. That was Monday, February 26, 2024. And also late into that night, technically into the next day, Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. Stephan was a busy little bee. Now, he was busy telling authorities, I was so tired. All I did was, I'm so time blind. All I did that Monday was drop Maddie off close to her school near Peace Church. This is in Florida in the Kissimmee, St. Cloud, Orlando area. He claims he dropped her off, this 7th grader, middle schooler, gorgeous girl, dropped her off in the cold about a block or so away from school, and poof, she just disappeared, and he had no idea what happened. Well, of course, the eye in the sky, God is always watching. He can see through any of our lies, and so traffic cameras told the story. Please note before I go any further, you are not going to see any videos of Maddie. Nothing untoward, nothing graphic, nothing like that in this video. What I did put in a public request records for from police are just videos that they captured, those red light cameras. Thank God they have them all over the place. And even the LPR readers, the license plate readers, boy, when we get to that part, they sent me a couple of those in this batch of 72 videos. A link to the zip file, the raw videos are below. For those of you who like to download the videos, watch them yourselves. See what condition I was giving them. Woo, that was something else. I had to, just for you techies, encode these videos into Apple ProRes so they wouldn't degrade, and it was looking all crazy if I didn't do that. Took forever to get them in a semblance of order because the naming conventions weren't there really, but I was able to compare it to the PDFs we have. We've learned Stephan Sterns drove all over the place starting that Monday morning, technically February 26th, and not the places he told police. So I wanted to see those videos. I requested the public records months ago. I believe, of course, officially I was denied at first. A lot of times I feel like I put in public records requests way too early. I get denied, the criminal investigation is still going on, or the case hasn't been fully adjudicated. Well, Stephan put in his guilty plea. He was found guilty, he was sentenced. He's off, serving his time for the horrible things he did to Maddie, taking her life as well, even though he pled no contest to that. But anyway, he's guilty. So I went back. This is what I'm learning with public records requests. You have to be specific in what you want, and you have to keep following up. Because after Stephan Sterns was found guilty and sentenced, then it was okay for police to release these videos to me, but they hadn't, so I had to follow up, and then I finally got them. As a side note, did you hear about how much Moscow PD out in Idaho wants for Brian Koberger? The entire case files? Maybe it's the videos too. I don't really know what it includes, but this one YouTuber, she posted on X, they want $20,000 for that case file. So it shows you just how much some of this stuff can be. It can be free, like these, it just cost me a lot of time and effort, days and days and time worth of effort, or it can range where it's like really high. So I'm learning, be specific and narrow down what you want. Maybe you can pay piecemeal if it costs anything. And secondly, follow up, because a lot of these places, after the person is sentenced, they're not going to automatically say, oh, remember that public records request you put in months ago? Here it is. No, you have to chase it down. So you won't see Maddie in any of these videos. What you will see is Monday, February 26th, Stephan driving his parents' silver Lincoln MKZ. Unfortunately, it's what he used to transport Maddie out to a different place miles away among the bamboo is where she was found. He drove from that Kissimmee condo on Santa Maria Drive way out in St. Cloud. He's on 192 quite a bit. If you're familiar with Florida at all, which I'm not Technically, even though I did live in Tallahassee for 5 years. Thank God for these license plate readers. Basically, we're looking at 4 trips for both Monday and Tuesday. We're looking at when Stephan left the condo, drove out near Old Hickory Tree Road or Hickory Tree, presumably leaving Maddie there. The second trip on his way back to the condo, getting a flat tire somewhere in there. It makes his car really distinguishable on that trip back. That's Monday. He drove a lot that day. And then, did he rest and get all this sleep? And was he conked out like he told investigators? No. He was up and at 'em again very, very late, well into Monday, after Monday is over, basically Tuesday, like 3-something in the morning. He leaves the condo again. So this time it's nighttime, but he does not drive his car. He drives Jennifer Soto's white Nissan. Supposedly she stays asleep the entire time he does this. He takes her white Nissan out to the same location, basically taking the same route and then coming back again. And what's troubling is the part we'll talk about when he stays out there half an hour in the middle of the night where he placed Maddie doing God knows what. But thankfully for these license plate readers, video surveillance evidence, the Lincoln MKZ Florida tag, Stephan's parents' car, the first one he drives, it's kind of goldish or silverish depending on the light. It has a tag IYLL82. That was the big car everyone was looking for when Maddie was still missing. You will see clear as day, since it's daytime, he was so brazen driving around in the daytime in this car. So many traffic cameras catch images of him just driving. You can see like his, left arm, he's driving like this. And you can even see he's wearing a blue shirt. So some are close enough to see him who's driving. But I can see why, Tuesday night, early morning hours of Tuesday, it's so dark. And Jennifer looks like she has a tent on her white Nissan. And so even in the bright lights of certain main streets Stephan drives through on Tuesday, I'm assuming it's Stephan. Investigators cannot confirm that it was Stephan driving Tuesday, Jennifer's car, because I see why now. That tent is so dark and the darkness of the night. I went through all 72 videos. I could not see who was driving that Nissan. But of course, we presume it's Stephan. Whether Jennifer knew or not, that's not for me to say. But I understand why investigators say, we don't know who was driving Jennifer's Nissan. And by that Thursday, Stephan would be in jail, February 29th. At that point, investigators would have a come to Jesus moment with Jennifer and say, we don't believe Maddie is still alive. So what I'm doing for the vocals, the audio track, underneath some of these videos we're going to watch coming up, his entire trip, there and back on Monday, there and back on Tuesday. What I'm doing is playing Jennifer's February 29th interview, 2024. Stephan had been arrested the day before, Wednesday. Investigators are going to confront her about her weird attitude, how she seems like she's taking up for Stephan, what he did, what she knows about what he did during, the first few days when Maddie was missing. They're going to tell her, I'm sorry, we don't think Maddie's alive anymore. So it's a lot. And I find it so interesting. Now, this audio is something also recently sent to me by Kissimmee. Remember, I created that post. If you follow me on Patreon, it said something like, supposedly Kissimmee's entire case file. Because I still don't think it's everything, because I kind of calculate and some things are missing. I just feel very particular about getting all the evidence. But one thing I did notice in this audio, we now hear Maddie's name, which previously was redacted. Of course, certain privacy information is still going to be redacted out. You'll hear silent portions, but it does give us a better viewpoint. Now that I've stepped away from this case a little bit and I've come back, it gave me better perspective on what Jennifer's saying.
Stephan?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen him or talked to him since. You guys took us downtown and separated us. I haven't heard anything. I'm pretty much not picking up phone calls from my phone anyway, because it's either reporters or I've had a lot of scam calls, people screaming in the background going, help me, and hanging up. But that's not Maddie's voice. I would say yes, but typical parenting stuff, if she didn't clean her room when she was supposed to, coming down on her for something like that. Was it anger out of the blue or anger, random anger? No. It was always Maddie wasn't doing what she was supposed to be doing kind of thing, so we come down on her.
And when you you saying come down on her?
She even mentions her friends that live off of Old Canoe Creek Road. Jennifer mentions her friends living off that road, and it's very close to where Maddie would be found that following day, Friday, March 1st, the first time I ever made a video about Maddie. And even when I made the first video, she was still missing. And then by the time I was editing and publishing, I had to do an intro. I remember to say, oh, she's been found, unfortunately not alive. So it's sad. In that interview, I don't want you to get confused. They talked to Jennifer a lot about Stephan's Wednesday trip down to Northport. Now, we don't have that footage. I don't believe I have that footage. I have so many videos. I don't know. You can look in there. Maybe you can find it, because the naming conventions aren't great. We do see the street signs. We do see the street names on certain videos. And we do see on just a couple, just a handful, we will see the date and time up at the top. However, that date and time doesn't correspond to the time that's in the documents that police say Stephan was captured. So I don't know if the red light camera time is not set to local time, perhaps, just like the body cam, sometimes it's set to the GMT Zulu UTC standard time, and you have to kind of do calculations based on what time zone you're in. So that could account for those discrepancies, but it was really difficult putting these all together and trying to figure it out. But as an explainer, before I let you watch the whole thing, all the trips, we will see footage starting just after Stephan left his condo at 12:44 p.m. Monday. So it's almost 1 p.m. Monday. The actual video footage, starting what they gave me, starts at 12:49 p.m. So we're going to track him all the way driving out to, Old Hickory Tree Drive, different snippets that caught him as he just traveled along the same route. And then when he heads back around 2:11 p.m., notably with a spare tire on his car, that rear driver's side tire, you can very much see, okay, this is like a spare tire on there. It really helps us distinguish his car. And the Lincoln has a really distinguishable grille, so it helped me pick out his car, his parents' car, that is. That Monday, he arrived back at the condo at 2:43 p.m. Remember, just in time to miss Jennifer. She had already left to go get Maddie from school. She left home at 2:30 or whatever that day, because she likes to get there early, sit and wait for Maddie, be the first in line of the parents. He was such a busy bee. Nearly 12 hours later, Stephan was up and at 'em again, driving. This time it's Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. It's 3:16 a.m. Wait till we talk about all the stuff he's done, that Monday morning so far. So it was quite a long day for him. No wonder he was exhausted. And Lord knows what happened Sunday night. We still don't know. When Jennifer sent Stephan and Maddie off to room number 4 because she needed a good night's sleep. Anyway, you can tell how sarcastic I'm being, because the more I listen to these interviews and the more cops call Jennifer to the carpet, I pick up on more and more things. Even when you listen to this coming up, Jennifer is speaking of Maddie in the past tense. And I picked it up so much more now that I've kind of put all these things together. Maybe like a lot of you were visual learners. So something about seeing these videos really consolidated just the evil plan, the evil path. So anyway, it's Tuesday, February 27th, 3:16 a.m. Reminds me of John 3:16. Jennifer's white Nissan exits the condo complex using the main gate. And so we'll watch this car take a similar journey that the Lincoln MKZ did the previous day. But it's impossible to see who's driving that Nissan because of the darkness, the tent, everything. But this is what's most disturbing. By me going through this timeline, matching it up with the videos, we learned Stephan likely spent 30 minutes out there in the middle of the night, those early morning hours, Tuesday, February 27th, 2024, at the place wherever he placed Maddie. That's the presumption that he went out there. He arrived there around 3:35 a.m. and he didn't head back towards the condo until 4:09 a.m. So that means he had more than a half an hour out there with Maddie to do what? Did he move her body? Did he do something even more nefarious than what he had already done, which we still don't know? the whole story. We know enough of it for him to be locked behind bars where he is, where he admitted to the crappy, disgusting stuff he did to her. We still don't know. We know her cause of death, strangulation, but we don't really know. There's a lot of mystery surrounding what actually happened. Since Stephan pled no contest, of course he didn't confess and, say, oh, I really did this. He's just playing games again, in my opinion. He's not fessing up to everything. He's leaving the room open to me for more people to even look at Jennifer even more shadily. And I'm not saying Jennifer had anything to do with Maddie's demise. I don't think she protected her daughter as well as she could have. And I even tried to listen to this again with an open, objective mind, like I was a juror listening to Jennifer. Like, part of me is like, yeah, maybe Jennifer really is naive. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, which of course we still do. She hasn't been charged with anything. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if she'll ever be charged with anything, but I kept picking up on so many things that just sounded so shady. Even like Stephan leaving at 3:30 a.m. to take this drive in her car. Did she really not hear him leave? Did she not know at all? She told investigators, oh yeah, I noticed my seat had been moved. And I asked Stephan the next day, did you drive my car? And Stephan said, oh yeah, remember I told you I was going to go drive around. What did she call it? She has all these weird Freudian slips. I think she said cruising. She said something. It wasn't maybe it was cruising in a different interview. He was just going to go cruising around, looking for Maddie. Anyway, remember Stephan told his dad he did go out there, I believe, to where he placed Maddie. According to Stephan's dad, Stephan told him he was considering taking his own life. If that's what really happened or not, we don't know. There is a certain point where you'll see these great investigators. They started investigating, getting all these traffic camera videos that Wednesday, February 28th. They did a great job. Oh my goodness. This investigator wrote, sometimes where he kind of missed, he can't see where Stephan went at this point when he was getting close out there on Old Hickory Tree. He wrote, I located a similar size, style, and color vehicle past Creative Inspirations. That's at 2030 Old Hickory Tree Drive, St. Cloud. The camera facing Old Hickory Tree Drive, just south of 13th Street. So I think those are the two parking lot videos that I'll just play right now as I'm talking, because those I couldn't really place, but it does look like that. So I was like, okay, they were able to place him and just track him and plot him. So that morning by 4:30 a.m. Tuesday, Stephan was headed back through the front gate of their condo. Again, in this interview from Thursday, February 29th, they talk about Stephan's Wednesday a.m. travels. He drove all the way down to Northport. At first, they thought he went to the storage facility his parents own, but I think that was a mistake. I don't know if he went there or not. I believe he was nearby his parents' house. Stay tuned. We still have to see that body cam video of what went on down there in Northport. Maybe he was just trying to hit the Wi-Fi, trying to log into his Google account and trying to delete evidence. That's what I believe. Making his way back Wednesday morning, because by Wednesday morning, Jennifer and Stephan were staying in a hotel. Chris Sterns was staying, I think, nearby in the same hotel. He helped them pay for the pet fee or whatever. They had been kicked out of their condo by Wednesday before Stephan was arrested. So again, I don't have all that Northport travel. Maybe it's somewhere, but that would have been a long travel. Allegedly, again, he left the hotel room early Wednesday. Jennifer tells police in this upcoming video he must have left the hotel room Wednesday morning, I don't know what time, 5 a.m. or something, in order to make it down to Northport, I think, which is like a couple of hours drive or more. I have to look that up, put it on screen. And then from Northport all the way back up to Kissimmee, wherever their hotel was. He didn't make it back to the hotel, according to Jennifer, Wednesday, I think around 11 a.m. And again, she's none the wiser. She's like, oh, I was up late. We finally got to bed really late. We checked in really late. And Stephan, his stomach was so upset. He was exhausted and he was asleep. He must have snuck out while I was sleeping. Now, again, giving her the benefit of the doubt. We know Jennifer's going to talk about her medications. She's going to talk about her ailments and everything. When she goes into a deep sleep, it really might be a deep sleep, because it's like, whoa, maybe I can understand her not hearing Stephan, leave the condo. march down the stairs from room number 4 and sneak out the front door. She's in a separate bedroom. Okay, maybe she didn't hear that. Maybe she didn't hear all that, Tuesday at 3:30 a.m. or whatever, and notice her car gone and hear it start up or anything. But then I was thinking, oh my goodness, Wednesday, you're sharing the same hotel room. I'm assuming the same hotel bed with a man. And you know how those hotel doors are kind of loud usually. And you're in so much of a deep sleep that you don't hear him leaving again to drive down to Northport. And she's saying she woke up around 9. She called Stephan's dad. And she's like, have you seen Stephan? And of course, Stephan, all these times, he leaves his phone behind. He forgot his phone so many times Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's why he thought he was smarter than your average bear. Like, oh, they can't track me. But all these eyes in the sky in this LPR video, the way it lights up the license plate, I had no idea it looked like that. It's amazing what technology can do, and it's only getting better. Like, you can't hide. Jennifer was saying, oh, Stephan made it back finally to the hotel around 11 a.m. Oh, he gave us this line about, getting lost and all this stuff. And we believed him at first. And anyway, I don't have any of that Northport video yet. We'll see. I don't know if I requested it. We'll see if that even exists. Wherever Stephan did down there, I don't know if we have traffic cameras for that. It has to be like a busier street generally to have red light cameras pick you up in all the videos. Before I start playing all these videos, just so you have your bearings, we will see what this great, I think it was investigator Cabral is his name. We will see what this investigator, JC Cabral, I believe is his name. This is his great investigative work. He got all this video surveillance evidence and was able to just put it together to plot a story. Now, before we start playing what takes off at around noon, almost 1 p.m., let me set you up to see what Stephan has done previously. The videos we don't have, some of the videos we don't want to see, believe me. But they started tracking him. They found relative videos February 26, 2024, starting at 7:30 a.m. He was up. His Lincoln MKZ was captured on the apartment surveillance video cameras where he lives, where Jennifer lived, where Maddie lived. He was driving, and unfortunately, Maddie was in the passenger seat. She was slumped over. Her head was tilted, leaning to the left towards the driver's seat where Stephan was sitting. She appeared not to be alive. Now, of course, we're not going to see this. We don't want to see the photos. But in the audio interview coming up, you will hear investigators show Jennifer this photo. Immediately, she's going to say, oh yeah, that's Maddie asleep in the vehicle. That's Maddie asleep in the car. And it's like, she's not sleeping. And Jennifer's like, what? Is she dead? It's very strange the way she just starts off. Yeah, that's Maddie sleeping. And the way it's described, Maddie is slumped over awkwardly. It doesn't necessarily look like a person sleeping in a car. You know how someone just kind of sleeps in a car. You can generally sometimes tell the difference, I guess, between sleeping and not alive. So that part was a little weird too. And eventually she's going to ask them, can you show me more photos? And she's saying, and they're going to question why she gets upset at weird times, not when they think she should be upset. They were seeing red flags too. It's not just most of us. But moving on, 7:35 a.m., Stephan Sterns is placing a trash bag in the dumpster in the condo. I don't have all that. Looks like he was wearing a red shirt and khaki pants. Now, when we get to this video surveillance, it looks like he's wearing a blue shirt, in my opinion, and he might have a hat on too. So at 8:10 a.m., Stephan's in the Lincoln again. He's going down South John Young Parkway. We'll see that street quite a bit. And you can see Maddie again. They say, we don't know, we haven't seen this, we don't want to. 8:19, he comes back. 8:19 a.m., he comes back in the condo. Maddie's still there in a slumped over position. 8:31 a.m., he exits the condo through the rear. Maddie's still in the front seat. 8:39 through 8:58 a.m. He's, captured all throughout Orange County, Florida on different LPRs, license plate readers. So they were tracking him. So between 9:01 a.m., 9:06 a.m., it's clear investigators say Maddie's still in the front seat of the vehicle. And this is how cops had him dead to rights, because it's like 9 a.m. and he's driving around with Maddie, whom he claims he had dropped off like almost, 2 hours earlier or whatever. And they're like, wait a minute. evidence shows she's right here in the car with you. 9:16 a.m., he's driving on, passing a business. 9:25 a.m., John Young Parkway. 9:35 a.m., he's pulling into that 2405 Commerce Park Drive, pulling into the top floor of the parking garage, thinking no one's seeing him. 9:41 a.m., Stephan is shown getting out of the front driver's seat, going to the trunk. He's still wearing a red shirt, and he's allegedly, according to the report, of course I believe them, moving Maddie into the trunk. So he's leaving the parking garage at 9:44 a.m. So at this point, all we know is, unfortunately, Maddie is in the trunk. 9:49 a.m., he's driving back around. 9:50, he's on South John Young Parkway. 9:50, he's making a phone call at 10:17 a.m. And this is how investigators know he's back at home, because he didn't bring his phone with him during those morning shenanigans, horribly. And then at 10:54 a.m., he's still placing trash. What all was he throwing away? We knew he threw away her backpack. They're going to tell Jennifer this coming up. She's going to, I don't know if it's pretend weeping or real weeping. It's hard when you can't see a person visually. It just sounds suspect to me. He's throwing away stuff and everything. Another part we won't see, I don't think that they gave me, is when Stephan was observed on camera at 11:22 a.m. at the smoke shop in Orange County, Florida. He's still wearing khaki pants, but he had changed into a blue and colored t-shirt instead of the red t-shirt he had been wearing all morning. So that shows you he probably, he knew he had all this DNA on him from Maddie in that red shirt. So when he stopped back at the condo, this is when he likely put on the blue shirt. He's sitting in front of that smoke shop, the vape shop, whatever. He claimed to investigators he was there at different times, and that's why they knew this does not match up what he's telling us. This is when they had confronted Stephan in a different video, and I want to go listen to all that evidence, those audio interviews again, because I don't know if they're less redacted like this one is. I'm putting in this video coming up with Jennifer where we can hear Maddie's name. When there's less stuff taken out, we can understand the whole context a lot better. So we will see him in the blue shirt. At 11:48, he's passing another license plate reader, and then Stephan apparently went back to the condo, and this is when he reset his phone. It says at 12:12. That's 12:12 p.m. He's at home. Jennifer's going to talk about this. Oh yeah, I think I was there with him after my blood appointment. And he's like, oh no, I accidentally reset my phone. And she even has a faux pas about that. She was like, Stephan said, he was going to reset his phone. I mean, he was going to update his phone. So I feel like she was even messing up the story. So that's where we are going to start. I'm going to let you start watching it all now. So where we begin is they don't show us like him leaving the condo. Certain stuff they just didn't give us. But when he gets down to a certain point past the condo, like 5 minutes later after he leaves at 12:49, that's when we're going to catch up and see Stephan, passing that eastbound camera, traveling towards St. Cloud, going on to Dyer and all the way down. And they're like, look, they're going to question Jennifer. Does Stephan know St. Cloud? How does he know that area? And now I see why they were questioning her so heavily about St. Cloud and all this stuff, because on Wednesday, February 28th, they got all this stuff. They tracked his patterns. They were able to see what the heck he was truly doing, possibly even before the 28th, but I saw the 28th on here. They already knew this guy didn't drop Maddie off. These cameras tell a different story. So they really questioned her about St. Cloud towards the end of this audio coming up. So we're going to watch all of that, and then we will come back and close it out. Okay, first let's look at the path that we don't have video for. Stephan Sterns was leaving his apartment, Santa Maria Drive. He's going to make a right, then another right onto Dyer Boulevard, and end up making that left, we'll see in a second, onto Vine Street. Okay, so at first I was trying to drag the little blue man, or the little man, onto the blue street, Santa Maria Drive, where the actual Venetian Bay Village condo is, but you can only drag it onto Dyer Boulevard. So then I kind of turned around and I was kind of backing up. I wanted to see the beginning of where Stephan Sterns may have exited. At first I thought the condos were on this street, but it does say he exited the rear, and then he definitely drove this way, However, there must not be any traffic cameras, I presume, on Dyer Boulevard, or none that were garnered by police. But he was driving along Dyer Boulevard, you know, maybe freaking out, thinking again and again of what he had just done hours earlier in the position he put himself in. So we're going to go all the way down until he makes the left turn onto Vine Street. Vine Street. And that's where we will pick up with the surveillance. So I was doing like the little Google Maps thing, and you know how it kind of gets you out of the lane you want to go, but it's very helpful in matching it up with the document and how police tracked Stephan Sterns. It's amazing. He was trying to hide, but the big eye in the sky saw him and his dark deeds. So Stephan just traveled along and along until it was time to turn left onto Vine. So at some point he would have gotten in the left lane, and this is where the video picks up, and it's great to see certain landmarks so I can match up this video, the Charlies. It helps me match up with the video that they gave me, and now we can see him really turning. All right, this is a blink and you might miss Stephan Sterns kind of moment, but you can see that silver Lincoln MKZ turning left. Remember, this is Monday, February 26, 2024, the same day that Maddie was reported missing. Here's a slow-mo, closer up view. You see him turning, and you shudder to think that Maddie could potentially be in that trunk at that point. We know at this point, because this is 12:49, and we'll start again. Look at him turning again. I've kind of put a pause there. He had already been home. Remember, Jennifer Soto had her blood appointment, and she made it back home, I believe, around 11 a.m. The timeline's not clear between these two, but we know at some point Stephan and Jennifer were back in the condo together, 11 a.m., noonish, whatever. Stephan Sterns leaves 5 minutes prior to this video. He left through the rear of the condo. Cops had already caught him on surveillance video dumping all sorts of things that morning, probably Maddie's backpack and other things in the dumpster. And then noon, he tried to reset his phone. He claims he did it accidentally. And he claims Jennifer and Stephan, they talked about nothing, and Jennifer was there when he reset his phone accidentally. But all this time, there's no flat tire yet. All right, so Stephan on Monday continued on. He turned onto West Vine Street. We're going to see him coming up on the left-hand side this time, but he's going to be blocked by a burgundy minivan. And I can see the Panama extended stays on the left and the Queen of Pawns pawn shop. Now here he comes. There he is. I paused it. See that he's in the center lane and he went by. I'll play it again. Now it's kind of slow. Of course, the more I zoom in, the more the video degrades, it degrades. And so there he is. And then he continues on his way, not very much speeding. He was probably driving really carefully, and now he's gone out of the frame. Everyone's going about their days, of course, not thinking some crazy evil man has his girlfriend's daughter there with him. Well, already in heaven, I believe, at that point. But, people going about their days not knowing what this man is doing. Now, I want to play some of Jennifer's interview snippets as we look at all these videos as well. I got sent so many, and I want to track it all, track his movements. Okay, so we can see that Stephan Sterns' vehicle, at least his parents' vehicle, had no sunroof. That helps me place him. It's silver, it's four-door. He continues down near John Young Parkway and passes this Kabayan Grill Filipino restaurant. So I believe that's what that is up in the top right-hand corner. And he's still in the center lane. We can't see him yet. I mean, these cops did a great job pouring through all these traffic camera videos to find Stephan and his movements. They really got justice for Maddie. So now I was looking closely and I was checking for his car. At first I thought, oh, is that it right there? But that has a sunroof, so it can't be him. I thought, is that the one? Nope, another sunroof. And so I started looking, there's that beat up truck that was by him before. So it helps me place what cars were near him before. And now he should be coming up right there at the stop line, that crosswalk. I think that's him. No sunroof. He's blocked by the other burgundy red car. It's different than the car before. So I slowed it down here. So we'll see him coming up. I don't think Stephan Sterns' vehicle had that much of a tent on it. Right there. That looks like it's him, and he's probably thanking God that he didn't have a sunroof because that would have made what was going on even more visible. But even without a sunroof, cops were still able to catch him. They did a great job tracking him, and I want to go back and play a little bit of the interviews again to see what Jennifer had to say. What did she know about Stephan's whereabouts during this time? Anything? And by the way, this footage was captured at 12:53 that Monday, about 3 minutes after the previous footage we just watched. So they were able to pick him up as he moved on down the lane. Okay, now it's nearly 6 minutes later down the road. Stephan is once again caught on the camera. It's at East Earlo Bronson Memorial Highway. You can tell there's a Heritage Commons in the background. I had to track it to see where I can find him. He'll be in this left-hand side. Coming up, I'll slow it down. Again, kind of in the center lane. He's going to be near a semi-truck. And so 192 is the same as this East Earlo Bronson Memorial Highway. Here's the truck. That's him. I'm going to slow it down. I believe that's him. And there we go. Because in other videos, we will see, I believe he has like an easy pass kind of behind his rear view mirror. You can tell there will be other passes coming up. We've got a lot of these videos to go through where it looks like you can see Stephan more clearly. You can see the blue shirt he's wearing. I'm still going through all these videos, but I'm sure he was driving very carefully. Remember, he said on his interview, oh, I don't know what was taking over me. It's like, I don't know what was transporting her, and he kept blaming it on God or whatever. But I'm sure he didn't want to get stopped. Can you imagine if Stephan had gotten stopped by a cop? You've seen some of those body cam videos where it's like, cops find a surprise in this person's trunk.
Monday morning, when you were asleep, Stephan and Maddie were upstairs, and she's going to school. Run me through that morning again.
Monday morning, I was woken up by Stephan Sterns coming into my bedroom. Sounds, but I'm not sure who it was. Who was in the kitchen? Could have been Stephan, could have been Maddie.
Okay.
Could have been one of my roommates.
Okay, so you'll notice from those brief snippets I'm playing, we can now hear Maddie's name in some of those interviews. So they sent me supposedly what is the entire Kissimmee case file of evidence. You can tell, I guess I didn't really believe it was everything because I feel like some things were still missing, but I did put all that audio, I think the whole zip file, up on Patreon. So check the link below. It says supposedly Kissimmee's case file on Stephan Sterns. Back then I said no CCTV footage, etc. But now we're about to look at some more of Stephan. Traveling on down past the church, he's now going to be at the intersection of Bill Beck Boulevard, 1 minute later, and East Earlo Bronson Memorial Highway. So this is like 192. Remember, they talk about 192 so much. I wanted to find audio snippets of what Jennifer kept saying about 192 and Stephan saying about 192. It just kept coming up. 192. That's where we are here. And wait till you see some later footage. It's amazing. It was pitch black, totally dark, but they caught Stephan's license plate. We'll get to that at some point. I'm just going through all of these now, along with the audio and putting any good snippets of anything I find in here as we watch. Okay, but as Stephan makes his way down 192, we believe this is the point where before he gets the flat tire, he's searching for a place to place Maddie. unfortunately. So the traffic is coming in the left-hand lane. Again, he's going to be near that semi-truck. So once we see that semi-truck, it'll be easier to spot Stephan. And again, I'll slow it down for you. And he looks like he stays in that center lane, not with those lights blinking. That's not him. The fact that Stephan does not have a sunroof really helped, and that Lincoln emblem in the front. Here it comes behind that truck to the right side of the truck. I'm slowing it down. It really helps spot this car. I think that's him right there. We'll slow it down. No sunroof. We'll get closer. That looks like him. That emblem is pretty easy to spot, along with, I believe, his easy tag in the front. So he drove along. 1 p.m. The weather's pretty clear, and it's interesting how silver cars do reflect differently because we have a lot of videos to watch. The color looks different in different lighting. I am amazed at all this video footage they were able to find, and again, they had him dead to rights.
In that statement, you say you saw Maddie.
I know. I misremembered. I didn't see her.
Okay, this part I will admit I got confused. So it's about 6 minutes later since our last stop. The next entry says at 1:06 p.m. there was an LPR tag hit, license plate reader tag hit for Stephan's vehicle, his plate IYLL82 at St. Cloud Commons near Simmons Road and Bronson Memorial Highway 192. So I couldn't necessarily find that video anywhere. I see 2 videos I have that claim to be LPR videos, but they are both at night. So I couldn't find either plate on this first little video. It's about 1 minute. However, coming up, you will see Jennifer's tag. Now, her tag is a little bit more clear. I totally saw it. Her 2022 white 4-door Nissan Sentra, Florida tag NVJS91. So look out for that. It's coming up in a little bit. These license plate readers are really slick, though. I mean, my goodness, it's so dark, but you can see as the cars go by, it kind of just highlights the plates and captures it. So it's coming up, but obviously I don't think this is the, 1:06 p.m. on Monday footage. It looks like it's late at night. It looks like it's from a different time. But I'm going to put this here anyway, just because I need a marker in this place to let you know there was a license plate reader hit at 1:06 p.m. And now Jennifer's tag is coming up. I'm going to slow it up for you. So you will see they weren't able to determine who was driving Jennifer's vehicle. They believe, of course, it was probably Stephan Sterns and not Jennifer. There it is. Look at that. That's her tag, clear as day. And it's amazing what they can do with these license plate reader hits.
What else? She had an asthma inhaler. She had an asthma inhaler. I can't think of any other meds she was on. I had gastric sleeve surgery a few years ago, so I'm vitamin deficient, so they give me some high doses of medications to keep my vitamins balanced.
All right, so going back to the morning that Stephan takes her to school, you said you think it's around 8 o'clock when you physically see Stephan messing with the dog?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't see Maddie anywhere?
I don't.
When Maddie gets dressed for school, like now that I've seen the inside of the house, it looks like a majority of her clothes are in that little partitioned area in the living room.
Yeah.
Does she have clothes anywhere else? Like, where would she put clothes to wear to school the next day?
Okay, so I'm back on track, and it's about a half an hour into Stephan's drive. After all, the documents say he left his apartment that he shared with Jennifer and Maddie at 12:44 that Monday. And now we're about a minute later after that last LPR hit, wherever it was. Now we're at Sergeant Graham Drive and 13th Street. It's about 1:08 p.m. So it makes sense about nearly half an hour later. He's probably driving at a good clip, but you will see coming up he's in the center lane again. And I'm going to slow it down for you and everything, but you kind of get a clear picture of his car coming through. I think that's it, coming up in the center lane. It's coming closer, and you see that emblem in the front. I'm going to play it again so you can see it a little bit closer. These videos, some of them are different shapes and they were named all kinds of wild things. So I have to put them all together. And there he is, right there. Looks like that same Easy Pass potentially behind his rear view mirror. I just see something kind of white colored behind there, like a little box, kind of like the Easy Pass many of us keep in our cars to pay tolls. So I was wondering, did he have a plan? Did he know where he was going? Where did he intentionally set out to go to place Maddie? Or was he driving haphazardly, aimlessly? Did he come up with this plan all on his own? That's my curiosity.
Where would she get dressed? She would get dressed in her bedroom, right there, that little nook in the living room. All her clothes are there. When she takes off her clothes, her dirty laundry hamper is typically in my bathroom downstairs, and she'll just dump it in the basket.
Okay, only about 30 seconds later, you gotta love all these traffic cameras. Stephan is caught again, his car, and you can even see him too, it's so clear. He's caught on camera at Old Canoe Creek and 13th Street. So once again, he'll be coming up in the center lane, and I will slow it down when we get to the point where his car looks visible. Now that you know what to look for, I won't necessarily talk and show you all the places. Maybe I'll just stop it and show you. I do a pause when I spot his car. Like this, coming up, look at that grill. See, it's very distinguishable. And some of these are so clear, I can try and slow it down. You can see him. I'll let Jennifer finish this portion of her interview.
Because I didn't hear anything until Stephan came and woke me up to try to get the dog.
Okay, so he woke you up to help with the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't hear tussling around or wrestling around in the kitchen that made you wake up to go help?
No. It was him. He came directly into my room and grabbed the dog. And I got up. I shot up to try to help him.
Okay, now this video is about not even a full minute after the previous sighting. I found it a little haunting. He's driving past a church, St. Thomas Aquinas Church. It's off of Brown Chapel Road. Thank God this video at the top, you can tell they have a little bit more info. So even though the plotting in the document says, 109, Neptune, and 13th Street, it's actually at Brown Chapel Road and Neptune intersection. So you'll see him driving along, and I paid special attention to try and see if his windows were down. They appear to be up. So there he is. That grill is easy to spot, and I will slow-mo it and zoom it in. It's quick, but then now it's slower here. It looks like that passenger seat is totally empty, and again, it's just haunting to me for him to be driving past a church, knowing what we know now.
You remember him leaving, saying bye to you or anything like that when he was taking Maddie to school?
I don't think so. I think at this point I was already back deep asleep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when he went to walk the dog and left, I fell right back asleep immediately.
Okay.
Now, a couple of minutes later, it's 1:10 p.m. Stephan is going to come into frame. The camera's catching him on Buttinger Avenue and 13th Street. Now remember, through his interviews, he kept talking about, oh, I forgot my phone at home. Maddie forgot her phone too. We know he was trying to be slick, of course. He was just trying to not be tracked. But I wonder if he knew these traffic cameras could track him. Maybe he was trying to think of the route. Like, okay, how can I get somewhere without using my navigation? He'd have to do it like we had to do it back in the day. You kind of study a map, and then you use the map. And you have the route in your head if you don't have an actual literal hard copy map. But he's going to be coming into frame pretty soon here. Of course, that silver Lincoln, there it is, slowing it down. And this is before they kind of lose him for a little bit on the traffic cameras, but they'll pick him up again. Here it is, slowing it down. There he is. I'm glad he drove in the center lane. A creature of habit, I guess. Maybe he does that often. And maybe he had a specific route in his head. That's why he didn't take some weird, winding, back roads kind of route. Because maybe if he had a destination in mind, he wouldn't know how to get there without taking the main roads. I mean, after all, he's not originally from this area. St. Cloud. I'm not sure how familiar he really is with St. Cloud, but this is where he drove, and I'm thinking to myself, he thought he was slick, he thought he wasn't being tracked because he forgot his phone so often that day. And I say that in quotes, of course, air quotes. Now, I hope this renders correctly. I had to encode this video and make it an Apple ProRes and all that, because sometimes the videos we get are a little wacky, but at least these are pretty clear.
Now, you go back to sleep. You wake up because you have a doctor appointment to go get blood drawn or something like that.
Yeah.
And you told me your appointment was around 10 or something like that, 9, 10?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I think it was 10:15.
You know, one thing I realized is that I might have multiple videos of the same traffic intersection. So this Buttinger Avenue, it must be pretty popular. We just saw one view, and then I have another view from this angle. So they had a lot of video. So you're going to see Stephan driving. It's the same view we just saw, approximately 1:10 p.m. according to the report, and he's driving still out. And I can't see the left side. Initially, I thought this was his return trip on Monday, February 26th, but it's not. He's still driving out. It's just a different vantage point. And again, I've slowed it up, and you'll be able to see him coming into the frame soon. And another thing we want to pay attention to, here he comes right there. So that's slowed up, and I did a pause so you can see it. And so it's a different vantage point. I'm glad they have different angles because some are much closer than others. And still that LPR view coming up really tripped me out. So there we are. We can see the car there. I'm glad it's so distinctive. Lincoln has a distinctive shape, so it helps me really pick it out amongst all the other cars. But also, as I'm continuing to play Jennifer's interview from February 29th, Maddie's remains had not been found yet, but one thing I'm picking up also, since we can hear Maddie's name, we can get the context a lot better, I'm picking up on just how many times Jennifer references Maddie, her own daughter, her own 13-year-old flesh and blood, in the past tense. She'll say, coming up, my whole day was focused around Maddie. And, she sounds emotional, but it's like she's already given up. I don't know if this is when they have told her yet. We'll keep listening to place everything. I don't know if they've told her yet that they don't believe Maddie is alive. They might have already told her. And of course, that could be one reason why she's using past tense. But like experts say, mothers especially never want to believe their children are gone. So, you know how hope springs eternal. They want to hope against hope their children are alive. So stepping back and listening to her interview all over again gives me a whole new perspective on its weirdness. So listen and watch more videos coming up of Stephan's travels over these 2 days. Okay, it's about 2 minutes later and Stephan is still traveling along. He's on that same route. Right now he's at 192 and Vermont Avenue. So you can see the US 192 sign above the traffic sign, and the description says Vermont Avenue, 13th Street. But you can tell this camera looks a little different. It's right up on the light pole, I guess. It's very interesting to see these. Now his car will be coming up, and again I'll do a slow-mo and a close-up. It's almost as if he was told, maybe he told himself, just stay on 192. There he is. It looks different from different vantage points. And we can see the tire is not flat yet. So they will note that the one we're looking at, the back tire on the left, it becomes pretty obvious in the upcoming videos when his tire goes flat. And they make a notation of it in the documents as well.
Yes, it was at 10:15.
Okay. So you go to this appointment, and on your way back, did you talk to Stephan on the phone at all?
I know I talked to him while I was in the parking lot waiting for my blood work to happen. I just don't recall if I called him on my way home as well. It would seem like I would do that, but I just can't 100% tell you if I did do that or not.
Okay. At what time did you and him meet back up here?
So I got back from my blood work appointment anytime between, I'll say 11:15, 11:30, so sometime around that time.
And was he already here?
Yes.
Okay. What did you guys talk about when you got home?
What happened this morning?
What did you say? What happened this morning?
Okay, less than 1 minute later, a different camera, still on 192, but we're at New York Avenue near 13th Street. Stephan will be seen in that farthest, not all the way to the top, but kind of in that middle lane again. You'll check, you'll see me slow it down, and he's kind of hidden behind another car. Now this appears to be the first traffic camera I can see with a date and time. You can see it counting up in the top left-hand corner. But what's confusing is it says 14:09, so it would be 2:09 p.m., now 2:10 p.m. But the notes say that Stephan was driving past here at 13:14, which would be 1:14. I'm not sure if the traffic camera had the correct time or not.
He's like, we had a good morning. We made really good time. Maddie got ready super quick. We were out the door super quickly. I was super impressed with our time. I tried convincing Maddie to go have McDonald's breakfast a few times, but she changed her mind and decided she didn't want to. She just wanted to sleep in the car. And the thing is, the night before, we had discussed, oh, Maddie, maybe he should leave a little bit earlier than normal so that you can go get breakfast with him at McDonald's. That would be a really cool day to start a Monday right after your birthday, having McDonald's at breakfast. And she's like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. So they were supposed to have gone to McDonald's, but he told me they didn't. He told me he had left his phone because I had no, he had already told me this earlier that he had left his phone. What else did he talk to me about? We sat in my room for a while, hung out. He discussed having to reset his phone even though he didn't want to, or no, not reset his phone. He discussed needing to update his phone because he's been avoiding an update for so long. But I think it's time to do it. And I said, just do it. Stop avoiding it. Just do it. And he started the update, and then through the update, he's like, oh my God, I don't know what button I pressed, but I just factory erased my entire phone. And I said, that was stupid. How'd you manage to do that? He goes, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention, and I just clicked the button, and it happened. And I said, oh, okay, that's unfortunate.
Or did he tell you he meant to reset his phone?
No, he didn't tell me he meant to reset his phone. He acted like and said that it was an accident.
Did you find that odd?
Of course I find that fucking odd. That's suspicious as hell. That...
Have you ever reset any kind of phone?
Me? I have no idea how to do that now.
Okay, have you ever had to do an update on a phone?
I think so. On these phones, yeah. Sometimes it will ask me to just continue on with the update. And do I remember it ever asking me to erase? No.
Got it, okay.
But he's got a Samsung. I have Apple, so I don't know if there is a difference or not. So,
All right, now that you mentioned phones, so Maddie had a phone.
Yeah.
And explain to me what her attachment is to her phone.
Her phone is her lifeline. That's how she talks to all of her friends. That's how she talks to any of us. She's constantly on video chat with her best friend, or talking to them, or playing video games with them. But she's on her phone pretty often. What exactly would you like to know about her phone?
So, at one point you told either a deputy or officer or detectives that sometimes she leaves her phone at home when she goes to school.
Yeah.
How often do you think that is?
I would say once every few weeks. It happens a lot. Like, for me, that's a lot. She has ADHD. She's very forgetful. She'll set something down and completely forget where she said it later. Where I found her phone was on her dresser, so I'm assuming she placed it there while she was getting ready and completely forgot about it, got ready, grabbed her backpack, and left. But it was on the dresser in front of her TV. But for me, that's a normal thing for her to forget her phone.
Now, when she went, do you remember what time she went to bed on Sunday?
I sent them to bed around 11 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see him or her anytime after that other than in the morning? Or talk to them? Either via text or yell through the walls or...
No, nothing like that. If anything, Stephan may have come down to use the restroom.
Why wouldn't he use the restroom upstairs?
Because our roommate does not like sharing. Our roommate does not like sharing bathrooms with men, and she asked that we don't use that bathroom, or that he doesn't use that bathroom specifically. So we've respected her wishes, and he's been using my bathroom this whole time.
Okay. Were you supposed to work Monday?
No, I was off.
Okay. What about Tuesday?
Off. Wednesday, I was supposed to work.
And you told me you work at the front desk at Coronado Springs at Disney.
Yes.
How long have you worked there?
Less than a week.
He really looked like somebody that was kind of changing his tire, but kind of just finished up. But again, kind of also looks like he just got there because that front door.
I guess the last question, did he appear, his clothes, what state would you say? Normal, dirty, clean? Remember anything specific about that?
He was wearing a black shirt. So with the black shirt that he was wearing inside his mugshot was like the closest I could say that I looked at the material. So I don't know if he even changed his clothes like when it came to that mugshot and that, or if he just re-wore a short, if he has multiple of the shirts. So he didn't look dirty. He didn't look like he just walked through anything. He didn't have any stickers all over him. I didn't see any of that.
Could you tell if he was sweaty or anything like that?
No, he kind of looked like he just got out of his car, where I couldn't say that because, I don't know if he has AC in his car, but, he didn't have a jacket on, he had these jeans, so, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, this is where things get a little confusing. It's supposed to be like 1:15 p.m. off of Mississippi Avenue and 13th Street, and I think I see Stephan's car. It'll be coming up on the top of the screen. He's turning away from us, so you'll see it coming up. But Detective Investigator Cabral, if you pronounce his name that way, I gotta give it to him for going through all these videos. He wrote, I could not locate the vehicle continuing to travel along this eastbound path at future intersections, so I checked for surrounding cameras to where the vehicle was last observed. I located a similar size, style, and color vehicle pass Creative Inspirations 2030 Old Hickory Tree St. Cloud camera facing Old Hickory Tree just south of 13th Street. The vehicle passed the location. Okay, so now, do you see at the top of the screen? It looks like Stephan's car and how he turns, and he turns kind of closely in front of that white truck, in my opinion. Pretty blessed he didn't get slammed into. So I want to see if we can find this Creative Inspirations Old Hickory Tree St. Cloud camera footage if we have it. It says the vehicle passed the location at 1:16 p.m., which would correlate with the last intersection passed and the time frame. Oh, he says, I did not have access to any cameras further along this path of travel. So he went forward, watching forward. He says, I located the vehicle return northbound on Old Hickory Tree Drive and turned west onto 13th Street in an apparent return at 2:11. The vehicle now had a spare tire on the rear driver's side. So he kind of lost the vehicle, Stephan Sterns' car, I think almost for about an hour. So according to the report, from about 1:16 p.m. that Monday until about 2:11 p.m. that same day, about an hour was lost. But at some point, investigator Cabral was able to pick back up again and noticed Stephan Sterns' return trip, really noticed the fact that Stephan now had a spare tire on the rear driver's side. So now we're going to pick up on his return trip. So it took him nearly an hour to do whatever he did. Okay, as described in the document, it says, watching forward, I located the vehicle return northbound on Old Hickory Tree Drive and turned west onto 13th Street in an apparent return path at 2:11 p.m. Now you'll see his spare tire coming up. See? He's following closely that white truck, and when Stephan Sterns turns, it's very obvious that rear left tire looks totally different.
Okay. And are you saying the spare tire was on this side, or that's where you saw him?
He was there right next to the spare tire.
Okay, was the spare tire
already on the car?
Spare tire was already on the car.
On the car. There's no other tire here. There's no jack to put up or jack stands to put under the car. He was just standing there with a tire iron. Well,
Okay.
kneeled down. He kneeled down by that point of me passing him and looks at me. He has a tire iron in his hand, too. Okay?
Okay, was his trunk open or closed?
Closed.
Closed.
I didn't see anybody else in the vehicle either. So this kind of just left my mind until a few days later until I saw, the picture of him, and I saw the time frame of what you guys gave from 110 to 135. I'm like, this was definitely him.
So you only saw the spare tire that's on his car. You didn't see an additional, the
No.
original tire that would be on it?
There was no original tire that would be on it, and there was no car jack, no car stand or anything like that. Just what he was using to change the tire was the iron. It was like a 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, did you work anywhere prior to that?
I was a substitute teacher for Kelly Education.
And how long did you do that?
Maybe a month or two. Not very long. And then before that, I've been unemployed. I've been living off disability, essentially. I'm disabled.
Okay, why are you disabled? From what?
I have a bunch of things. Primarily PTSD.
From what?
So PTSD, bipolar 2, generalized anxiety, ADHD. I think that's pretty much it with my psychiatric stuff.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, what happened with...
I went on a date with a guy I had met.
Was this before Stephan, or...
Yeah, this was before
Okay.
Stephan. This was way before. It was a few years before Stephan, or maybe the year before Stephan. But
Okay, so according to the document, this should be Stephan Sterns on his return home to the condo at 2:12 p.m. We can clearly see that replacement tire on the left side in the rear. Now, I don't think it was his plan to get a flat tire. Probably God's plan to delay him. Did he plan to go home with Jennifer and put on this ruse and really go pretend to pick up Maddie when he knew she wouldn't be at school? Was he going to pretend in front of Jennifer and the entire world when Maddie didn't come out of the school? What went wrong here? I'm glad these videos are helping us put the puzzle together.
Met a guy at a car dealership who interviewed me for a job. I turned the job down, and he said, "Oh, great, I can't date my employees." And I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to take you out on a date." And I said, "Oh, wow, I've never been asked out on a date in person before." And we went out on a date. He got really drunk. We got back to his place. And
Alright,
If you didn't work, what would your typical day look like?
my entire day was focused around Maddie.
On a normal basis?
I would wake up first thing in the morning, make sure she was ready, make her breakfast, get her backpack and water bottle ready. If she's taking lunch, get her some lunch ready. This is me doing this while she's getting ready. Walk the dog, come back, make sure she takes all her medications before school, take her to school, come back. I typically have a bunch of doctor's appointments to go to often, so I'm either at doctor's appointments. If I'm not at doctor's appointments, I'm just here at home, probably napping, resting, just waiting until it's time to pick her up from school again. She was my entire life. Everything I did was, my everyday was for her.
Did Stephan know about your doctor appointment on Monday? Did you tell him what your plans were on Sunday?
I'm not sure when I told him. I must have told him Sunday night, yeah, or Sunday, because there's no way I could have told him Monday morning if he didn't have his phone on him, and I didn't really talk to him that morning.
where'd you meet him?
We both worked at a real estate office off of iDrive somewhere. They're called Eco Homes. I don't think they exist anymore though. The Eco Home Company. I think he was a real estate agent for them or did warranty work for them. And I was an appointment setter. And I didn't have that job for very long. I got fired. That was right after my PTSD incident. I couldn't hold down a job at all.
So when you and Stephan would hang out, say Maddie's at school and you two wanted to hang out, or the three of you wanted to hang out, like what would you guys do? Like where would you go? Or
Primarily Disney. We have Disney annual pass holders. We both worked for Disney at one point. Well, at least he worked there at one point. I still work there. But we go to Disney. We go to Disney, or we stay at home and they would play board games, or we'd watch. Well, we loved watching movies. We would always have family time and just watch a new movie. Like, I felt like it was one of our projects to make sure that she watched all the good movies from the 80s and 90s that we grew up watching. I just wanted her to have that knowledge of pop culture. So last movie we watched with her was Sister Act.
when was that?
Sunday night.
Like, would you go out to eat anywhere, like a favorite restaurant or anything like that?
The only restaurant I think we frequented a handful of times in the last year is La Mexicana. It's on off of Columbia. Honestly, living on disability and then his income at Disney, it wasn't enough to survive. We really didn't eat out often. We couldn't afford it.
Would you go visit any parks, or other than not Disney parks, but neighborhood parks or anything like that?
No, we'd hang out right here at this lake. Maddie really liked hanging out at this lake and just drawing, sitting on one of the benches and drawing. Any other park? No, not really.
Now, what if it was just you and him? Say, going out on a date or wherever. Where would you guys typically go?
So, due to money, hardly ever went out on a date. Honestly, we hardly went out on dates. There's only one date I can think of that we went on, and that was like years ago at the beginning of our relationship, where we went to Disney Springs. I went to the Edison. I don't think we've had many date nights, just him and me. It's always been the three of us doing something, going to dinner, going to Disney Springs. We visit Disney Springs sometimes, often, well, not often, but sometimes. We really liked that restaurant, Deluxe Burger. Really good. Shane really enjoyed it there.
Now, the dynamic between you three. I know you told me that sometimes you and her would sleep in the bed.
Yeah.
Sometimes the three of you would sleep in the bed. And then sometimes you would send him and her to a bedroom so you could get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on?
Okay, so I'm going to say back in June. It was primarily the three of us sleeping in bed together all the time.
And why? How did that start?
Maddie has always slept in the bed with me. She's always slept in my room. Only when we lived in that apartment in Northport did she have her own bedroom, and we could afford for her to have her own room. So that was the only time she's actually had her own room. Here, she's always shared a room with me. When she was a baby, she had her own bedroom here for a few years. But once she got older and we started having roommates and all that stuff, she started just staying with me in my bedroom. Stephan, during the times that we did live with Stephan, it would be the three of us in this bed down here, down in the master bedroom. It wasn't until June of last year that we had broken up, and I said, okay, I don't want to sleep in the same bed with you. Please move upstairs. And he moved upstairs. At this point, Maddie pretty much slept with me all the time. I think I can count maybe on one hand how many times she's gone upstairs to sleep with him alone, because I wasn't comfortable with it. I was like, no, it doesn't look right. Like, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it. Maddie, you gotta sleep with me. And I've told him that. But there were times that they begged for sleepovers. Like, please, we just want to stay up late watching movies. And I would be too tired to stay up late. So I would say, fine, go ahead and do it. But just this once, like...
When did you start becoming comfortable with it?
I don't know if I was ever comfortable with it.
But you told them to go Sunday night to go sleep together.
I did. That was a selfish move on my part. It's because I wanted a good night's sleep. I didn't want her kicking me or rolling into me or waking me up, or to hear her alarm so that it woke me up. I wanted to keep sleeping until I needed to sleep, because I just had not, with my training schedule, I have not had a good night's sleep. My medication was out of whack. I was feeling funny and not like myself, and I knew that I needed another night's sleep and my medication in my body, like ASAP, so I needed to go to bed. So I wasn't even comfortable sending her that night, but I just did it for my own selfish reasons.
Okay. Did you know He's never said anything to you or anything about it?
If anything, I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child then turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him, like, that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body, never trust a man. And, like, I did not completely 100% trust the man, but in my, like, the logic in my head was saying, you know, he's been in your life for 7 years, nothing's happened, he hasn't shown you anything that he's weird, or that he's done or that he's interested in her, or said anything about her body, or talked to her about her in any specific way that, like, creeped me out. He's never said anything like that, or shown me any of those signs, so I thought I could trust him, that he was safe, that he was a good guy, and that he was taking care of my baby and loved her the way I loved her, but I was wrong.
Yes, because you may think he was whatever.
I know.
So I need you to, I know this is a lot, but Monday morning, I really need you to focus on his actions Monday morning.
Okay.
So you go to help him with the dog. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you or do you not see Maddie?
I do not see Maddie.
Okay. At that time, would it be normal for her to be awake, getting up, ready for school?
Yes.
Okay. And according to you, she typically does that in her bedroom?
Yes.
Okay. When you go out of your bedroom to help him with this dog...
I never left my bedroom.
Didn't?
He was in my bedroom. He walked in, the dog was on top of my bed, and he went to leash the dog on top of my bed. I got off the bed to try to help him with that, and then he said, no, go back to sleep, so I did.
Okay. He tells you that he took Maddie to school and dropped her off somewhere near the school so she could walk, because she doesn't want to be seen inside of his car.
Yeah.
Okay, do you believe him?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because of the evidence, because of photos, because of what you're telling me. Because he's clearly a liar. I want to hope my daughter's alive and out there, that she was taken. I don't know anymore.
Well, I can be fairly confident that a stranger did not take Maddie. The only person she was with was Stephan.
Why would he go to Northport?
I don't know. I don't know what's in Northport other than his parents. Did you know he was going to Northport?
I thought when I woke up and he wasn't in the hotel, I thought he had gone to the Target Plaza right next door to the hotel we were staying at, because he likes to go shopping when he's stressed. But that's not what happened according to you guys. He actually went all the way to Northport and came back.
So when he gets stressed, he likes to go shopping?
Yeah.
Okay, did he tell you he was going shopping on Monday?
He was going to go stop at a few game shops to see if they had any Lorcana cards for sale.
Would that be considered stressful shopping? In your mind? Or your eyes?
No, because he does this often. He'll want to see what stores have what in stock to see if he can afford to buy it or not.
Mm-hmm.
He'll go from shop to shop. He's done this. He does this. He does that.
Okay. So going back to it, he says he drops Maddie off and he sees her walking towards the school.
Yeah.
And then, did he tell you where he went after that?
He said he drove around for a little bit, killing time, and then...
Killing time for what?
For the vape shop to open.
Okay.
And then I think he told me he waited... No, he told me he waited in front of the vape shop for it to open. But I think that it didn't open. It never opened in time when it was supposed to.
Do you know what vape shop he went to?
Yes. Let me pull it up. And I know that I brought this vape shop up to one of the other detectives earlier, and I had shown them this location. But that vape shop is located in a plaza where it has an Amscot on one corner and a bank on the other corner. So if you guys could probably find video footage of if he was even there, pulling in and out. That's in Hunters Creek.
And you know for a fact this is where he went?
That's where he told me. Yeah. If it's any vape shop, it's this vape shop. And
why that one? Why that specific one?
He likes the brand, the e-smoker company. And that's where he gets all of his vape stuff. He won't go to any other vape shop around here. He goes to that one.
What time is this vape shop supposed to open? Does it say on there? Okay.
10 a.m.
Okay. When you guys are here, are you guys assigned garage remotes for the... How many of those do you have?
I have one. Stephan has one. I'm not sure if Angelica or Natalie have one.
Is it something you keep in your pocket, or...
I keep in my car.
What about Stephan?
I think sometimes he leaves it in the car, sometimes he brings it in with himself. It depends.
Why would he bring it inside?
I'm not sure.
Does that seem normal to you? To bring a garage remote inside the house?
No. But he said that morning he left the house. He said that morning he left the house and then returned again because he forgot the garage clicker, so he came back to get the clicker. I don't know how true that is or not.
Did you think that was odd?
He's a very forgetful guy. I don't fucking know what to think of him anymore. I don't know if he's lying. I don't know.
Alright, so you know you're all around.
Yeah. That's Maddie asleep in the car.
Maddie's not asleep in the car.
What do you mean?
Do you believe Maddie's asleep there?
Is she dead?
I don't know. We don't know where she's at.
That's an odd way for her to be laying down sleeping.
So this is at 7:30 in the morning. Ish.
It's way too early.
But you said you thought around 8 o'clock.
Because I assumed that he was getting her ready for school. So that would be the time he'd wake me up and take her. Was earlier.
So just for the recording, this is a video from within the complex that shows the front angle through the windshield.
Yes. So the next picture is going to be Maddie in the front seat of Stephan's car. You see, right here? Mm-hmm. That's taken at 9 o'clock near SeaWorld.
9 o'clock in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
Where did he go?
I'm hoping you can tell me that.
Went to SeaWorld?
He's near SeaWorld. That's International Drive. Does he know anybody up there?
I don't think so.
Is there a special
He
place
doesn't
likes
have
to go?
He doesn't have many friends like that. Like, not locally. Does he have anywhere he would like to go?
Is there a special place he likes to go?
Nothing I can think of.
Here's another picture from the dumpster in Venetian Bay of Stephan throwing away trash.
What day?
That's going to be Monday morning, probably around 7:45.
Has the dumpster has that already been taken? Have you guys been able to look at what was dumped?
Mm-hmm.
What was thrown out?
What do you think was in there?
Clothes? I don't know.
What makes you say clothes?
I can't tell what he's holding. I don't know if it's a plastic bag full of stuff or...
Inside of that bag is Maddie's backpack, Maddie's school computer, and one of her Crocs.
Are you telling me we're looking for a body right now?
We're looking for Maddie, absolutely. 100% we're looking for her.
No. Most likely she's not alive.
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Okay, after Stephan Sterns made that final turn again, where we saw him turning earlier that Monday, February 26th, it says the vehicle is then observed returning through the rear gate of the apartment complex. So this was about 2:43 p.m. Remember, Jennifer had already skedaddled over to Maddie's school to go get in line, be first in line to pick her up. And now it says at 15:24, so that is 3:24 p.m. Stephan's Lincoln MKZ returns to the workshop area where the same male again throws some items into the dumpster. So all this traveling on Monday, and he's not done. He's driven out to God knows where off of Hickory Tree. Unfortunately left Maddie, they believe, out there somewhere near where he got that flat tire, and thankfully Thomas Karras, the witness, saw him and was able to help police pinpoint the area, and that's how they recovered Maddie. So at 3:24 p.m., Stephan is throwing away some other items into the dumpster. He leaves, then immediately returns at 3:28 p.m. with more items to throw away. We know they recovered, as the police officer was telling Jennifer during this interview I'm playing, Stephan was throwing away stuff, and she's asking, were they able to recover anything? And he's like, what do you think he was throwing away? So Stephan then returned again at 4:36 p.m., again, to throw away items into the dumpster. Similarly, this detective developed a vehicle movement profile for the white Nissan with Jennifer's license plate. So now things are going to change. Okay, it's Monday. You guys remember, this was all his travel on Monday, February 26th. You know, up early, pretending like he was taking Maddie to school, pretending like she was sleeping right next to him in the car, actually driving all around, putting her ultimately in the trunk and then disposing of her out near the bamboo trees. And then he's making his way back to the complex, back to the condo, throwing away stuff. And then we saw Monday evening things ramped up. We've seen the body cam video where they're at Jennifer's mother's office and they're talking about what Maddie was wearing and her beauty mark on her face, as Stephan called it. No scars, marks, or tattoos, and they have a little laugh over that. And then very late that Monday evening, an officer shows up again at the condo asking more questions. Well, even though Stephan might be pretending that he's so cold and sleepy, he was ready to start traveling again. Pretty much, I believe, that same route. He might have changed things up a little bit, but he does not take his Lincoln. This time we're going to look at his travels. Technically, it is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. They're going to get an LPR hit on Jennifer's license plate. This is her white Nissan. So it's going that same path that the Lincoln took basically the previous day. So again, this officer followed the route of the vehicle using indicators on the trim package of the car. Jennifer does have unique trim package indicators, so that's good. Any uniqueness about a car, I think that's those like black marks, those little black designs on her white car. They really help things stand out, especially now we'll be looking at darker videos, nighttime videos. So it turns out at 3:16 a.m., no, Stephan wasn't sleepy. He was allegedly taking Jennifer's white Nissan out of the complex using the main gate, and the vehicle then follows the same path that his Lincoln followed the previous day, with the exception of utilizing the front gate of the complex. So they did things a little bit differently, but he's driving Jennifer's vehicle, even though investigators are not positive it was Stephan driving, and they weren't sure who was driving. I do believe it was Stephan driving. So let's take a look at that nighttime journey now.
I have a feeling that you and Stephan have some sort of communication on places he likes to go, or so, because some of the questions that I ask, it seems like you almost not cover up for him, but kind of defend him or have answers to some of these questions.
Because I want you to have more further insight as to why he might do things.
But you saying he's forgetful and
Maddie too. I just want you to understand, like, we're all the same. We're both we're all very forgetful. We're all very time blind. It's just part of our ADHD. I just want you to know, like,
what kind of grades does she make at school? Not great? What about her attendance record?
She's got a lot of doctor's appointments that we've gone to, so she's got a lot of absences.
Are they excused or unexcused?
I want to say for the most part excused. Every time we take her to a doctor's office, I bring a note.
Do you know that for sure, or we're working on getting her school attendance record? I'm just wondering if, you being a parent, I would hope that you would know kind of like what her, because I know my daughter's school, that if any of them miss one period or 2 periods or something like that, they will call me and say, hey, such and such missed periods 3 or missed period 7 or something like that.
They don't do that. They send out an email and a voicemail, like an automated voicemail, saying your child was absent today from Hunter Street Middle School. But not period 1, 2, 3, and it's not early in the morning like some other states do. It's late in the evening at 5 o'clock, where it's really late.
Totally after the fact.
Yeah, totally after. Like, it's.
Have you got a lot of those phone calls of her missing class?
I would say, yeah, I've got a good number of those voicemails and stuff, but I mean, even with excused doctor's notes, I'll still get those phone calls.
Yeah, because they miss school.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've gotten a lot of those.
Okay. When you say she doesn't make good grades, what's considered not making good grades?
C and under, C, D, F. She's got an IEP. She struggles with, she's got a few learning disabilities with reading, with mathematics. Her ADHD doesn't help anything at all. She's very spacey, very, like, she could see a squirrel and completely forget. Like, the teachers have told me, like, they'll tell her to do her work and she'll be like, oh, okay, and then see something, completely get sidetracked and then forget. And they're always on top of her. But yeah, she's just, I forgot where I was going with this, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her grades and attendance.
Yeah. Her grades suffer because of her ADHD for sure. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons she got an IEP is because she's technically 2 years behind with her reading level.
Okay. What grade is she in?
7th.
Okay. And I know we talked last night too, and I just kind of want to reiterate, has she had any changes in her behavior in the past few years?
I'll say yes. But it was all around where puberty hit, and like the typical teenage, the attitude, the sass, the talking back, the disrespect, the pushing boundaries. She was very much doing that. But that calmed down over the last few months. It got even better when Stephan moved out and went to Northport. Maddie and I were actually seeing a therapist together to try to like work through our issues because we were having problems communicating. So, yeah.
So Stephan, tell me about his, I know you say he likes to play board games and all that stuff. Is he like, what else does he like to do for fun?
He's a collector. He collects...
Play sports or anything like that?
No. He collects games and hobbies. He collects... Do you know what Tamagotchis are? He collects Tamagotchis. He's got so many of those. Digimons. Lightsabers.
Does he like to go camping? Does he like to go to the beach or any of that stuff?
No. The beach makes him self-conscious because he doesn't like how his body looks. He calls himself flabby. But, no. He's not an outdoorsy person. He doesn't play sports. He doesn't like the beach. Okay, he used to... Okay, this may be irrelevant. Back a few years ago, I used to own a scooter, an electric scooter, and he owned something called the One Wheel, which is like kind of like a scooter, but with one big round wheel in the middle. We would take that and ride around. The Kissimmee Trail connects back here, so we'd take that to the Kissimmee Bridge, do that trail over there, come back, or also go into Shingle Creek, cross the street, across Hoagland, go behind an apartment complex, and we end up in Shingle Creek. We would ride all of that and explore all of that wetlands and greenery back there. But we haven't done that in a while. We haven't owned scooters or electronic devices in a few years.
Okay.
Tell me about, you said there was an apartment in Northport.
Yeah.
Is that Stephan's mom's and dad's? Or you guys had a separate apartment?
We rented our own separate apartment.
Okay, where was that? Obviously Northport, but do you remember the complex name?
Let me see.
And how long ago was that?
This was back in 2020.
Okay.
I don't remember the month we moved in, but we moved out in November of 2020. We were there somewhere between 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
Let me see if I have there.
Was it just you three there?
Yes, it was just the three of us.
Okay. Is Northport, I've never been there. Is it a big city, small city?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the apartment we used to live in is in the town next door over. It's called Port Charlotte, Florida.
Okay.
That's a small town. Northport, even smaller, I would say. But Northport being more popular because it's attached to Sarasota County, so it has more people living in it. Charlotte County is pretty small.
Is it rural?
I mean, there was a city center, and there was a Tamiami Trail ran through it.
Okay.
So, major road, lots of businesses, lots of shops. So, I mean, it's out in the middle of nowhere, but...
Fun fact is, Northport is the third largest city in the state of Florida, square miles wise.
Yeah, it's big. The name of the apartment complex I used to live in is called Charleston K.
Does it still exist today? Is that still what it's called?
I'm not sure. I can Google.
And you don't know him to still own it or rent it?
No, because it was under my name. The apartment
It was under your name?
Yeah, and I'm the one who gave up the lease.
Okay.
As far as I know, it still exists.
Oh, Charleston K like that. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
And you guys, so you were in that apartment for roughly 6 to 8 months, you said, right?
Yes.
Did you live in Port Charlotte or Northport for longer?
No, we immediately...
Only that time?
Only that time, we moved right back.
Okay. And what would you guys typically do around there?
We did absolutely nothing. It was during quarantine time, so we were very afraid of COVID. Very afraid of going to the store and doing anything. We stayed home, watched movies, watched a lot of Netflix, played a lot of board games. But that was about it. We didn't... Sometimes we'd go to the beach, Venice Beach.
Yep.
But that's about it. We didn't really go anywhere.
Not much stuff outdoors? During that time frame?
No, just Venice Beach.
Okay. When did you realize that he went to Northport recently?
When one of the officers told me.
Okay. So, what night was that?
Last night.
So they told you last night, or he went last night?
They told me last night that he had went earlier that morning to Northport with my car.
Okay. Were you guys staying at the hotel together?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you not notice him gone? Did you sleep through it?
I slept through it. I went to sleep around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And I did not wake up until 9. And that's when I noticed he was gone. And I called Stephan's dad, Chris, who was in the same hotel. And I said, "Hey, is Stephan with you?" He goes, "No, he's not with you." And I'm like, "No, he must have left and my car keys are gone." He's like, "Oh." I'm just like, maybe he ran out to get some food, or maybe he ran out to get something, or to Target. And he's like, "Okay, we'll just give him a little bit to wait."
Why didn't you call him directly?
Stephan?
You have a phone?
I don't think he had a phone.
Okay.
And I think his dad eventually did give him a phone for him to use, but that was later that morning, and I was never given that phone number either, so I never had a way to contact him.
Okay. Why do you think he would go there?
I was told he went into a storage unit. I have no freaking clue what he would be getting in a storage unit or hiding.
Do you know about the storage unit?
I have heard of the storage unit. I've always known Chris or his parents to always have storage units. They own a lot of shit. They're kind of a little bit like hoarders, but they own a lot of stuff. They have, I think, a few storage units. or they did. I think they may have condensed down to just one, maybe. But yeah, I've always known them to have storage units.
Okay, and if you were to leave from Kissimmee, what way would I go to get to Northport or Port Charlotte?
I-4 down to 75 to exit 179, I think, Toledo Blade Road.
Toledo Blade?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they live pretty close right off the highway.
Did you see him when he got back eventually?
Yes.
Did you ask him?
Yeah, where the fuck he was. I'm like, an officer's coming right now to interview us. Where the fuck have you been? This would have looked terrible if you weren't there. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I went out to go get some food and I found a Wawa and then I got turned around and I got lost and then I made it my way back here. And we're like, oh, okay. Not fucking thinking anything other than just believing him. I feel like so stupid because I don't know how long he's probably been lying to me about the stupidest shit for the longest time. Like,
So he said he went out to get food.
Yeah. And he came back with he had a cup of from Wawa. He was drinking a drink.
Do you remember what time he got back?
Like 11:15 a.m.
Okay, so you were up around 9ish, you just told me?
Yeah.
So from the time you were up by the time he got back, roughly 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, and he came back with a Wawa cup.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so during that time frame, he told you he's been lost, got turned around, essentially.
Yeah. So he had no way.
For 2 hours.
Yeah, he didn't have a phone. He didn't know how to get back to the hotel room. That's obviously bullshit.
Did you tell him that?
No, but no, I'm speaking as from what I know right now. That's obviously bullshit. From what I was told by one of you guys, or from what I kind of calculated, he must have left the house in order for him to make this round trip to Northport and make it back by 11. He must have left 5 to 6 hours ago. So I'm just like, that makes it like 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I don't know, something like that. I'm just like, so he waited for me to fall asleep and then he left.
And you said you went to bed around what time?
3:30, 4 o'clock.
100%.
He waited for me to fall asleep and he fucking left.
Okay, I get that part. Are you 100% that you went to sleep around that time?
Oh, that's what you're asking me. I thought you were confirming me like 100% that's what he's doing. Trying to see if there's any way I can like I saw the clock saying 3:30 when I got up to go to the bathroom. I was in the bathroom for a little while and then I came back.
And he was there?
He was there and he was asleep. So I went to bed around that time. I was in the bathroom for, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 minutes. I had terrible dinner and it just was not okay. But when I got out, he was awake, or he was asleep, I'm sorry. He actually mentioned, oh man, I woke up really early this morning, around 4, and he mentioned waking up around 4-ish, because he had really bad diarrhea, and used the restroom. He mentioned that the following day.
And just so I'm on the same thought process, what day were you guys in the hotel?
What day were we in the hotel?
Would that have been Tuesday night?
Let me see. Really late Tuesday night, so I think it was technically Wednesday morning when we checked into the hotel. It was really early. But yeah, Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning.
I divert a little bit with Maddie. Never. Okay. Did she disclose to you about her? Has she had a period yet? Do you know?
Yeah.
Did she disclose to you about that?
Yes.
So do you know her regular
Cycle? I usually put it, she usually tells me when she gets it, and we put it in an app.
Okay, this is the point where the document says, I then watched for the vehicle return path at the Old Hickory Tree 13th Street intersection. So, from about 3:35 a.m. until the return path at 4:09 a.m., Stephan Sterns was out there somewhere more than a half an hour doing whatever in that location where he placed Maddie.
I must have missed it this month, or she must have not told me this month when she got it, but I have it written down when she got it back in January.
When should she have had it this month, roughly?
The beginning of the month. She got it January 1st, so it should have been around the end of February.
January 1st of February?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And was she pretty consistent on telling you?
Yeah, she would tell me when she would get her period, and then she'd actually also tell me every time she used the restroom, like, Mom, success, I pooped. And I'm like, cool, because
Right.
yeah, she said she had issues.
And she didn't tell you about this last cycle?
No.
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 Do you find that odd?
Yes. Now that you're bringing it up, yes.
Would there be obvious signs when she's on her cycle? As far as like certain products she might use?
Yeah, her pads. The pads she would use. I would get her a box about every 2 cycles or so, because one box would last her 2 cycles. She would typically complain of her breast hurting, having terrible cramps, but I didn't hear any of that this month.
You didn't hear any of that? Okay.
But you said she's been consistent every month telling you about her period?
She's been late a few times, and she's told me, or sometimes her period has lasted way longer than normal. I'll call it irregular, because mine was irregular when I was younger too. So I just assumed just her body working through it, trying to regulate itself.
Do you find it odd that it would be a month late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those images you guys showed me with the car, is there any more?
I mean, none that I can show you right now, but yes, there's quite a few.
But we don't see where he ends up going in the car.
Where do you think he would go?
I have no idea. If I knew, I would tell you. What general direction did you say he headed in?
He's all over the place. I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but this is just... We've been doing this job a very long time, as you can tell with all the gray in my beard. Your emotion when I told you you broke down like that. Do you remember that? Like, instantly crying. But when you talk about her possibly missing, or God forbid deceased, that emotion changed.
What do you mean by changed?
So when I told you you broke down and started crying, okay, but then when I showed you the pictures and said that she may not be asleep in those pictures, your emotion just changed.
I don't want to believe it. I want to... In my heart, I know you're showing me what you're showing me, and you're telling me he threw away her backpack. And I want to assume the worst. I don't want to assume the worst. I want to assume that she's still alive, that she's out there, that he's hidden her somewhere. But with what you're showing me, it feels like we're looking for a body. I'm just in shock. I don't want to believe that she's dead in those images you showed me. She doesn't look like she's sleeping. Who sleeps? When you sleep in a car, you sleep with your head on the door. Her head was over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you want me to say or do, or just want my daughter back.
And this is exactly what I was just talking about. We are literally having a conversation right now about Maddie possibly being dead.
Yeah.
And you have yet to shed a tear. But when I mentioned to you that you were crying violently almost. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because that was physical proof. That was proof of what was happening. Mm-hmm. That destroyed me. Until that picture of her asleep or not asleep in the car is not proof to me until I see a body. Mm-hmm. I have hope that she's still alive. But I don't know. With what you're telling me, I'm starting to fucking doubt everything. But I can't tell you why I broke down over one, and I'm being really serious now. I just...
So here's what's going to happen. Starting tomorrow, actually it's already started, but tomorrow there's going to be information being released between our department and Orange County's Sheriff's Office, is that now this entire investigation is the Kissimmee Police Department's investigation. I think I told you that last night.
Yeah.
Okay. Right now, we are probably going to start working this case as a homicide.
Okay.
Because he's in jail right now for... Okay? He's in jail for that.
Mm-hmm.
But we believe he possibly has done something to Maddie. And we want to know where he would possibly go. Now, this is going to be a very difficult situation, but do you have any knowledge of what he has done with her?
I wish I could tell you, but I don't. I have no idea. I wish I knew. I wish I knew I would tell you. Having it be switched to homicide makes it official for me. Is there any more images you could show me?
Not at this time, no.
And he threw away her backpack. That was her backpack in that bag. How long does somebody go to jail for this? Please tell me. It's so much.
If he did something to her that led in her death, yeah, he's going to prison for life. He's probably going to prison for life.
So, like, multiple life sentences, fine. Fuck him. Oh my god.
Has he tried reaching out to you from jail?
No.
Has he tried reaching out to anybody from jail?
I don't know. I talked to his dad earlier, but he didn't share much information. I don't even. Did I ask him? I can't recall if I asked him if he's reached out to him. I don't remember his conversation this morning. Sorry.
Alright, we are going to check on the progress that they're making inside real quick.
Did he tell you where she's at?
No. I haven't spoken to, like, since when? Like, in the hotel?
Anytime.
No, never. Like,
We need to find her.
I know. I wish I knew where to tell you guys to look. I fucking wish. Like, could you show me, like, a map of where around town he was so I could point out maybe this, maybe this, maybe this?
There's too many places.
Has he ever talked about giving Maddie medication? Like any of his medication?
I don't think so, no.
You don't think so, or?
No.
Okay. Have you ever given her any of your medication?
She's got her own anxiety medication.
Do you double check her medication?
When we give it to her? Yeah. I make sure I grab the bottle or she grabs the bottle, but, like, somebody's got eyes on her, grabbing the pills and taking them. Like, it's a tag team situation. She's not allowed to take them alone. So we just make sure that we gotta watch her. That I don't want her to accidentally grab the wrong bottle and accidentally take Adderall before bed, because that sounds like a terrible idea.
How long have you guys lived in Osceola County?
On and off for 12 years.
What about 7?
On and off for 6.
Okay. Would you say he's pretty familiar with Osceola County? Does he venture off?
No. I know he'll visit certain, he likes to visit gaming shops and like board game shops. Does he drive around aimlessly just to kill? I mean, just to drive? I don't think so. I think he goes out with plans.
Okay. Does he have close friends that live here?
In Central Florida, no.
No.
Mm-mm. The majority of his friends are in Northport, Florida.
Northport?
Mm-hmm.
Is he good with cars?
Is he good with cars?
Like, what do you know how to change the oil, change a tire?
I mean, supposedly he said he changed a tire on Monday and hurt himself. So I don't know how good that makes you if you hurt yourself. But yeah. Question.
Mm-hmm.
The vehicle that you guys towed, that was his? Did it have a donut on the car?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Do you not know his car?
No, I do know his car. I just don't remember if I ever actually saw the donut or not. I never came to inspect the car. I was wondering, was that part of the story true? Did he actually get a flat tire?
Who is in St. Cloud?
I know people in St. Cloud, and he doesn't know where they live.
Does he know those same people?
He's met them before and talked to them before when they've come over here.
Okay. Where do they live in St. Cloud?
Off of Old Canoe Creek Road. Do you want me to get you an address?
Sure.
Has he ever went with you to go see him?
No.
Never.
No. I've never even gone to her house like that to hang out. She always comes to my house. So they know each other. She lives in St. Cloud, but we've never gone to St. Cloud together with her, to her house.
And how do you know her? She work with you?
Yeah, she's an old coworker from 14, 15 years ago.
From Disney?
No, we used to work at a pizzeria. That was when I was a lot younger.
Are you texting her?
Would you like me to call her or would you like to text?
No, I thought you were just going to pull it up. It's off Old Canoe Creek?
Yeah, I don't know her exact. I don't know the exact street or address or. I want to say it's actually. Hold on. If I pull up a map. So she lives off of this road right here, Nolte Road in St. Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Nolte? That's 192 right there. There's Old Canoe Creek, Nolte. She lives around there.
Would you be able to point it to me?
To which house? No.
Not the specific house, but like, is it in a neighborhood? Does she have her own land?
It is in a neighborhood. I don't remember where, though. I don't know how far down. I have to drive down Nolte.
Are you familiar with Nolte?
No.
No.
No, I think I've only dropped her off at her house once.
Drop Maddie off there?
No. My friend.
Oh, your friend. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
want
sure.
to text for the address?
Yeah, let me text.
Yeah. And what was her name?
Michelle Mason. Masson.
2 S's?
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Stephan would know where she lives, but...
No, I'm not saying that he did, but I'm just trying to see who you would know in St. Cloud.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only person. There might be somebody else that lives, like, closer to Harmony, but that's the only people I'd know.
What does it say?
Michelle Mason, right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
What part of Nolte was it on?
I'm not looking at it. That is...
Stephen's Plantation.
Stephen's Plantation. It is going to be... I don't know what neighborhood that is. But if you go on Burberry Place...
Okay. Yep, I know where it's at. Well, we're going to check, see how they're going on inside. Like what we did last night, do you swear and affirm everything that you've told us today is to the best of your knowledge? So I hope you got it?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to conclude this interview. It is 6:35 p.m.
Okay, so what did you think? 4:29 a.m., he's on Hogland Boulevard and West Vine Street, and then by 4:30 a.m., so this is 4:30 a.m. Tuesday. Just imagine, I keep thinking of the timeline in my head. Monday, he claims he dropped Maddie off. Whatever happened Sunday night that he did, and he was all up all kinds of hours of the night, and the roommates heard maybe somebody placing stuff on a table sounds. Whatever he did, he's up very early Monday morning. We don't have all that video, but throwing stuff away, driving Maddie around, placing her unfortunately in the trunk, driving back to the condo, being there with Jennifer, trying to reset his phone. Oops, factory reset his phone accidentally. All that stuff he did. Now we see the drives he made on Monday, whoop, whoop, and back. And then remember Monday night, those body cam videos, Monday night, waiting around at Yolanda's office. Yolanda Zambrano, Jennifer's mom, talking to police and all that stuff, drinking water, wearing his blue shirt. That's Monday night. And even late Monday night, an investigator still showed up at the condo. They were, different ones. They were getting Maddie's clothes, asking them more questions, all that stuff. So that was Monday. So he must have slept in just fits and starts, because remember Stephan's dad had even talked about one interview. I still feel like I'm missing some of those where we need to see more. Some I've only read and not heard, so I want the audio and the video, whatever exists. Where Stephan's dad talked about, Stephan was exhausted. So whatever day he saw him, was that Tuesday night, late Tuesday night or whatever, his dad's like, he was exhausted. And I see why. So Tuesday at 3 a.m. or whatever, he's taking Jennifer's Nissan, whether she knew or not, driving all over and coming back. And now we're at 4:30 a.m. That's when Stephan returned through the front gate of the condo complex. I guess came home. So it's saying, I provided this data to Detective Morris and Detective Corporate Ilgen for use in the investigation. The traffic camera video was made available through access provided by the City of St. Cloud. Thank God they had all these videos. Thank God they weren't deleted or scrubbed over. Investigators did their job and they got digital evidence so quickly. That's why it's so important. I know certain cameras, I've seen certain cameras that are just real time, like out in Weld County. I don't know if they changed that. Certain ones are real time and they don't save. Maybe they changed that, but it helps when they're able to save the footage, even if it's for a week. A month would be great, you know, if they can get the space, because of things like this. People will leave their phones behind, think they're smarter than your average bear, and get caught. So this really helps. So I hope that was helpful to you. Check the links below if you want to download all the videos or whatever in their raw format. Names all over the place, difficult to put together. The MP4 extension videos were, you know how they can just look corrupted, just the way they were given. So I had to do the encoding to change them to Apple ProRes. If you don't use a MacBook, I don't know if you can encode them differently. I don't know if they'll show up okay for you. It's MP4. You'll see what I mean. Let's close with Galatians 1:10. Am I now trying to win the favor and approval of men or of God? Or am I seeking to please someone? If I were still trying to be popular with men, I would not be a bondservant of Christ. Thank you for watching.